back to the Sew Studio. Today I'm going to be showing you how to make a super sweet little mini Christmas stocking. Here's what you're going to need to make your mini Christmas stocking. First of all, print off your pattern piece from the comments below and cut this out on some printer paper. Choose some fabrics. You need to cut 2 for the lining of your stocking and 2 for the outer of your stocking. You want some ribbon to make a little hanger. You need some scissors and some thread in your sewing machine. So these little Christmas stockings are super easy to make, and they make fabulous little Christmas tree decorations, or maybe to send something in the post to a special someone that you can't see this year. You could personalise them and you could decorate them whichever way you like. I'm going to add some pretty little bells to mine and some lovely ribbon to tie a bow. Here's how we're going to do it. So first of all, we're going to cut out our stocking template and then transfer that onto our chosen fabrics. You need to pick a fabric for your lining fabric, and you want to cut 2 stocking templates out of that lining fabric, and then you want to pick a fabric for your inner fabric, and you want to cut 2 again for that one as well. Now the lining fabric will come up and over the top of your stocking, so just be aware if you're using a fabric that needs to be kept the right way up, as your top bit comes out up and over, it's going to be upside down. So I recommend for your lining fabric using something like a stripe, a spot, a star, something that doesn't matter which way around it goes. So let's just cut these out first. Don't forget to cut your 2 pieces as a mirror image so that your boots, you've got a left and a right. So that's my 2 outer and my 2 lining stockings cut. I'm also going to keep a little bit of extra of my lining fabric because I'm going to make a little heel and a little toe section to go on the front of my stocking. So we're just going to cut that now as well. So to cut your toe and heel section, I'm really simply going to get my fabric, still folded in half because I want one either side. I'm just going to pop my stocking on the front here onto my fabric, and I'm going to draw around that toe section with a tailor's pencil or some chalk or a normal pencil. You're not going to see this drawn line up to roughly where I want my toe to sort of come up my boot, and then I'm going to then join up this rounded boot end that I've drawn on my fabric, but I'm going to add a little bit of extra length so I can fold over the top, so about 1 centimetre, and then draw a straight line. And then I'm just going to cut that out. So that will then go on the toe end of my boot, and I've got that extra centimetre that I can fold under to get rid of that raw edge. And then I want to do the same, and I've got one for the other side, I want to do the same for the heel. So exactly the same. I'm going to get my fabric again, a little offcut. I'm going to place my boot on my piece of fabric offcut, and I'm just going to sketch around that heel section. So just about probably 3 or 4 inches in from that corner. And then I'm going to join it up, but this time I'm going to join it up with a slight curve. So that's the heel, and then a slight curve over the front. So I'll just show you what that looks like on my boot. There we go. So we want to sew these pieces on first, and these are going onto our outside fabrics, our outer fabrics. So it's worth just ironing over this raw edge for the toe section, about 1 centimetre on both of your toe sections. We're not going to do that for the heel, we're going to do a zigzag stitch to apply that, so that gets rid of any raw edge there. So I'm just going to go and iron, and then I'll be back. There we go, just pinned in place. So I'm now going to do a zigzag stitch across the folded edge of my toe patch and also over the slightly curved edge of my heel patch as well. You don't need to sew down the bottom bits because they'll be sewn into our fabric, but you can, if you want to, do a straight stitch as a basting stitch to hold that in place. Next, I'm going to pair my stocking outers up with their stocking inners, like so, right sides facing, and I'm going to stitch along the top of both of those stocking pieces, just with a straight stitch along the top, following about a 1 centimetre seam allowance. And then once you've got to that stage, I'm going to flip my stockings up like so, and then lay them right sides together, one on top of the other, both the outer fabrics at the bottom, both the lining fabrics at the top. You want to line your stocking up, meeting at that top seam that we've just done, opening up your seam allowances along that top seam as well, so you can iron those open if you wanted to. And then just make sure you get your little heels in the same place, pop some pins on there to hold it in place, or some clips, whatever you prefer to use. And then we're going to stitch all the way around the outside of our stocking. We're going to leave a little gap just at the bottom here to turn our stocking out the right way, and then we'll stitch that little hole up before we finish our stocking off. So we want to snip around any inner curves, just some little snips with our scissors about 1 centimetre apart, making sure we don't snip our stitch line that we've just sewn around the heel and around the toe. And now I'm going to turn our little stocking out the right way. This can be a little bit tricky, so just gradually and gently pull your stocking through. I normally reach down and try and get that inner fabric and pull it up through. And then you want the little gap here in your lining, we just want to fold the two raw edges in and just put some top stitching along that gap to close it up. So next thing to do is get that lining fabric down into your stocking. There we go. And then we want to fold over the top to reveal our lining fabric. So we're going to add our little hangy piece. So I'm going to use this lovely red ribbon that I've got here. Fold my ribbon in half, tie a knot so far down, so I've got a little hanging piece here, and I've still got some bits left over, and then I'm just going to tie a little bow at the bottom here, like so. Okay, so I've tied a bow at the bottom. I'm just going to fold that bow up onto the knot, and then by hand I'm just going to stitch that at the top of my little stocking boot here, and that gives me my little hanger, and it just gives me this pretty little bow here as well. So I'm just going to get my little bow and hanger, and I'm just going to stitch that together. Just put a few stitches through to hold my bow in place. And there you have it. Thanks so much for watching along and making a little Christmas stocking with me. If you want to see more Christmas crafts coming up through December, don't forget to subscribe to my channel. I can't wait to sew with you. Happy sewing, everyone. Bye.